Hello, that's 51st Parallel. I'm Samuel. Today I have a new guest. His name is Sumant. He came from a faraway country called Nepal. I don't know much about him yet, but we'll fix it. Okay, hello Sumant. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Well, I'm also good. So, yeah, I'm very happy to have you here. And as I said in the introduction, I don't know much about you, but I hope after this conversation, we'll definitely fix it. So, first of all, again, as I mentioned, you came from a faraway country called Nepal.
Yeah.
So, can you tell me something about this country?
It is Nepal. So the name itself is 1,000 years old. Ne means saint and Pal means home. So actually Nepal is home of saints. You know that eight of the highest peak of the world, Mount Everest, it lies in Nepal. And out of 10 highest mountain, 8 lies in Nepal. So you can say that it is Himalayas. And whenever people ask me where are you from, I gladly say Nepal, and they are also happy that I'm from Himalayas. So Nepal typically means Himalayas. And talking about Nepal, the major religion is Hinduism, and that is 81%. After that, Buddhism, but you don't find that it as a separate religion. Buddhism is also major religion because Gautam Buddha, you know that light of Asia, the founder of Buddhism, was born over there. So you can say that it is the center of Buddhism also.
Okay, that's very interesting. I didn't know about that, but also that's very exciting because you mentioned that, of course, Nepal is this country which is in the Himalayas, and I bet it's a beautiful country. And of course, me as a person who likes mountains, I just, one day I definitely want to visit this country.
Sure, I will take you with me.
Okay, sure. Let's talk a little bit more about the climate, let's say, because, like, was it very different for you when you came here to Poland? Like, what did you feel? Or maybe you didn't feel anything weird or something like that?
It's like extreme climate. In cold, it is cold. In hot, it is very hot. But in Nepal, it's nothing like that. The elevation is from 60 meter to 8848. You know, the highest point in Earth lies in Nepal. We have three geographical regions. Tarai. Tarai means plain areas where you can grow all the crops and all paddy and all. That comprises 70% of the total area, only 17%. And it is the region where more than 50% of the population lives. And after that, 65 or remaining 83% is full of hills and mountains. Mountains comprises of 17%. So you can see that there is vast difference of elevation in that area. So you will find all the types of climate over there. Typically in Tarai region where there is plain, in summer there is hot, and in cold winter there is cold. But in hills there is pleasant climate. You don't have to turn on your fan in summer, and winter, even though it's cold in winter, like you get to reach -1 degree Celsius.
Oh, again, wait a second, -1 degree.
Yeah, just
Okay.
that is normal.
Okay.
So at 10 a.m. in the morning, you get proper sunlight. So there are no fog and all. You get to see proper clear sky. You can enjoy the sun bath. So I would say that it's good, better than Europe, because here you get rainfall in winter. When you have rainfall, you get to see on the hills snow, and it's very cool. So I think climate over there is better.
You know what? It might be better there because, oh boy, you're yet to experience winter here. And I mean, like, the Polish winter is actually not that harsh, not that severe compared to, of course, some other countries like some Scandinavian countries, but also not only. I mean, I'm from Belarus and our winters are colder than here in Poland. But still, you need to be prepared for it to be like -5, let's say, or even less. On some days, it was even like -13 probably here. Again, anyway, but still, I think you'll manage. Don't worry.
Do you get sunlight in winter or not?
Yes, but for most of the time, it is cloudy.
Okay. I'm yet to experience.
Yep.
You would have called me at the end of the semester,
Okay.
probably.
So, like, where do you live there? And is it like this, as you mentioned, like the area of where you have some hills, or is it like lowlands, or maybe you live in the mountains? Where do you live?
Kathmandu is the capital city of Nepal. It is the place where, in single city, there is 8 UNESCO World Heritage Site in just one city. So it is one of the highest
Yeah,
in the world.
impressive.
So it is the capital. So everything is centralized over there. In Poland, there are Wrocław, Krakow, Warsaw. You can move to any big cities, right? But in Nepal, it's not like that. Everybody, everything is concentrated in Kathmandu. So I have one home in Plain also and one home in Kathmandu also.
Oh, okay, very nice. I mean, and what you said is just, impressive because you mentioned this UNESCO heritage, and yeah, that's wonderful. But I mean, like, that makes sense because Nepal is an ancient country. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
with years old history. So,
And I
yeah.
also like to interrupt you. It is also an independent country. It was never colonized.
Okay, wow, that's even better. Very nice, very nice. Speaking of some countries around you, like let's say,
China,
yeah,
China,
China, or for
India.
example, India. Um, as okay, I know that because we've already talked before the podcast, but you also can understand Hindi, and probably you can also speak Hindi. I mean,
Yeah,
right?
I have lived in India for 4.5 years.
Okay, was it difficult for you to adapt to their lifestyle, or was it pretty much the same?
Whenever I say I'm from Nepal, I have to justify myself that I'm from Nepal because I don't look like from Nepal. Simply, a person has mindset that white complexion and all chinky eyes, they are Nepalese. But we live in the plain area, so we are also from Nepal. So it's like whenever I say I'm from Nepal, so it's
Okay.
like I have to justify myself.
I see. I see. Okay, so were there situations where people didn't believe you? They thought you were Indian, for example.
Yeah, everybody say uh, in 100% every time. And frankly speaking, the surname I'm carrying, right? That surname people is more in India than in
Then in
Nepal.
Nepal, okay, I
I
see.
think there are, I think, 140 million people carrying my surname in India.
Interesting, but maybe that, I mean, that gives me some thoughts that probably you have some roots in, like, from India. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
yeah. Actually, almost all South Asian look like same,
Mm-hmm.
and we are all actually the culture of two countries, India and Nepal. They follow Hinduism, so our culture matches. We worship same, even though we are polytheist. We don't worship one god. There are many gods in our religion. So we follow same culture and tradition. We get married to one another. So that's the thing.
Now let's move to your studies. As you said, like you came here, and of course you study at Wrocław University of Science and Technology. So what do you study here?
I study mechanical engineering, and I'm here for a semester. Actually, um, talking about my interest in mechanical engineering, it started in while I was in higher secondary school when I was studying thermodynamics, and that let me choose mechanical engineering in bachelor at Punjab Engineering College, Chandigarh, India. And talking about Chandigarh, it is one of the first planned city of India. I did my bachelor's over there. After that, I worked in Tata Motors at quality control department. And you know that I graduated in 2020 and I was first COVID batch. So in March, COVID started, and we say we'll meet after some times, but it continued.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't get proper farewell from our college too. It went like that. 1 year it wasted like that, COVID. For another year, I was preparing to go to USA, or Italy. Italy was my second option because first of all I wanted to go to USA, And another reason is also that I didn't want to do part-time job and study. I only wanted to focus on my study. I applied to 3 USA university. I got offer from them all, but tuition fee was like $27,000, and it was too much for me. And I see the option best option, because if your parent income is less than 23,000 €22,000, you will get scholarship in Italy. So I opted for Italy.
How did you, let's say, end up here in Poland?
I was like, I want to do Erasmus, but which destination I have to select between Germany or Poland. So there was my senior who had came before over here. They told me that Wrocław is very beautiful. You should go there. And from the earlier experience, I came here.
Okay, I see. And by the way, do you like Wrocław so far?
I'm yet to experience it, but as far as I see, it's very beautiful. It's cleaner than other cities which I have seen. And you know the reason, because Poland doesn't allow refugee, and that's one of the reasons why you can see it's very beautiful. Talking about my experience with Rome is too much, because I live nearby between Rome and Naples. Do you know Monte Cassino?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I live in Cassino. My university is over there.
Let's just clarify that. So you study in Italy and you came here to Poland for one semester,
Yeah,
Erasmus exchange
yeah.
program. Okay, now that makes sense. What can you say about Italy? How do you like this country?
Everybody knows that Italy is very beautiful. But the first culture shock, if I mention culture shock or not, but first shock, as an Asian, we know that we have an ideology that every white people can talk in English. So when I landed in Rome, I started talking English. Nobody knew it. Over here in Poland, many people know English, but in Italy, I don't think many people know English. I'm studying international course, so Italians study in their own language, and we international student study in own language. So I'm just studying with all the Indians, Pakistanis, all the Asian. There are no Italians in that class. I love Italy because they are very friendly. Even I didn't know any Italian language, anything. With the gesture and like this and that, with symbols and all, I get all my work done.
How's your Italian now? Do you know something?
There's a word called poco poco, little little. I've been practicing Duolingo, but I haven't given that much time. But little bit I know something.
Okay. Also, you know what? You shouldn't be surprised because it's the case in many European countries, I believe. For example, in Germany, also, I've heard that maybe like less people, speak English, for example, because again, like Germany is one of the biggest economies in the world. So basically, they don't really need that much to speak English, something like that. They can just communicate in German. So yeah, I mean, of course, that's the case for some European countries. Okay, and speaking of mechanical engineering, like what do you plan to do in the future?
I have two choices: either be here or go back to my country. My plan for returning is that I want to work in hydropower. As you know that there are a lot of Himalayas, and there are many river and rivulets. So there is higher prospect of hydropower stations over there. And actually, we are selling electricity to India in summer.
Okay, I see how it is.
In summer, we have surplus electricity. If you talk about 10 years back, we used to have 10-15 hours of power cut, literally in one day. Now we have so much of hydropower stations that we are planning to expand that electricity project to India. Actually, we are selling. Now we will expand to Bangladesh and Bhutan. So my plan is to join the hydropower.
Well, good luck in doing that, and I hope you succeed in your undertaking. Also, I wanted to ask you, what have you visited here in Poland?
I told you before that I would have come here after 4 months, because it's just 2 weeks of me in Warsaw, so I'm just still managing myself. Uh, 3 days back, I met my ESN buddy, so we went to the center over there, and I love the place. There is university, right? University of Warsaw. There is one island, I think.
Yeah, there is definitely an island there, but I'm not sure because as far as I know, Wrocław University, their campus is a little bit, a bit a bit over here, a bit over there, something like that.
Okay, you know the island, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we are there drinking beer. Then one guy came, police guy. So he started asking 20 zloty. I didn't have money because I have only card. So I told him that I'm new here. I just have a card. So he asked me, "Where are you from?" So I told him that I'm from Nepal. Oh, Nepal, Himalayas. I really wanted to go there because it's my dream destination. Practice Buddha teaching, and I was so overwhelmed hearing that.
Yeah, of course. Well, what a surprise. I mean, actually, yeah, of course, not every person who comes up to you asking for money is probably, knows where Nepal is, but
Yeah,
still, that's very surprising. And of course, I bet it was heartwarming for you to hear such words, right?
even my professor at the intro decks, they asked me, "Where are you from?" I was wondering that nobody knows Nepal, but people know Nepal, and that's a big thing for me. People
Hmm.
know my country.
What would you recommend visiting in, let's say, Kathmandu?
Um, if you are hiker, then I would definitely suggest you Annapurna Base Camp. You just get to walk around up to the base of the Annapurna, and EBC, that is Everest Base Camp. It is 1 week trek, and you get to see a lot of beautiful things. And if you come to Nepal, I will definitely show you.
Okay, yeah, sure, sure, of course. Now that I have your contact, then yes, it would be not that difficult. Is there anything you want to tell to every exchange student who, considers, let's say, coming here to Poland, or for example, who has already come here? Like, what would be your advice to such people?
Before visiting any country, there is opinion. Somebody tells you that don't go to this country, they are racist. Don't go, that is not safe. So I mean to say that until you visit that place, don't hear anything from others. Just go there and experience. There are everywhere there are good people, bad people, and bad people is only 1%. If one bad person is criticizing you, that doesn't mean that everybody is bad over there. So talking about Wrocław, this city is very beautiful. I love this city. Previously, I heard that it is one of the underrated city of the Europe, and it is. It's because looking at the architecture, I think it's blend of German architecture, right? It's different
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Poland. So university is too good, and if you definitely want to come, you should visit this place and visit this university. Uh, the professor are too good, and talking about practical lessons, I enjoyed a lot. Also, I want to add one more thing. I'm vegetarian strictly, so you don't get to eat many vegetarian food in Italy. And talking about Poland, I find vegetarian option in McD also, so
Okay.
I don't have any problem. And talking about Belarus, okay, tell me something about your country.
Oh, before we get to Belarus, can I ask you something? Like the fact that you're a vegetarian, is it common in Nepal? Like, do many people practice that?
If you talk about 20 years back, many people used to be vegetarian, but now the younger generation, the trend has been changed. Talking about my family, we are 4 members, including me. All of us are vegetarians, and I personally think that I don't want to. It's personal opinion. Nobody has. I don't have right to decide what they can eat. They don't what they can eat, but I think I don't want to harm animal. That's the main reason for me vegetarian. And I'm vegetarian since childhood. And even in if I don't have option, I carry my own foods everywhere. And that's and talking about in Nepal, there are still vegetarians. If you talk about in India, there is one state called Gujarat, the place where Mahatma Gandhi was born. That in that city, you don't find people eating meat and chicken.
That's interesting because Junaid also mentioned that in our previous conversations. And of course, Junaid is my Indian friend. And yeah, I mean, I don't remember exactly if he mentioned that, but definitely he was talking about some vegetarians and something like that. So yeah, that's interesting.
If you visit more than Nepal, if you visit India, you'll find many cultures of because every state of India has their own language, own food, uh, own culture and tradition. So if you are visiting one place in India, you are like visiting one country over there. So might be in future if you get a chance, I would definitely recommend going you to India.
Okay, wow, and now you're talking about India. Of course, because you had some experience living there, which makes sense.
I'm talking about India because I have explored more India than Nepal.
Okay, you asked me about Belarus. Well, Belarus is just another country
Uh,
bordering Poland. Yeah.
was it part of, if I ask you, USSR previously?
Yes, yes.
And do you know Russians and or you have different language over there?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I speak Russian. I speak Belarusian as well. And yeah, I can understand Ukrainian. It's probably that's one of the things that makes it easier for the international students from, let's say, Ukraine or Belarus. When they come here to Poland, it's not that difficult to learn the language because it has a lot of things in common with our languages. And like in general, these countries are the Slavic countries, which means that some cultural aspects are also similar. So yeah.
No, you asked me about Poland whether international student can come or not. I mentioned you that people has difficulty in Italy speaking English. So I want to, in general, which are the country best for English, where people understand English?
Well,
If you can suggest that English speaking country in Europe.
in Europe, oh, that's a good question. I mean, of course, there are some surveys and some studies, and probably, if I'm not mistaken, Denmark, also like Norway, probably. So such countries speak English the best, I guess, in Europe. Yeah.
And what about the job perspective after graduation?
Again, it all depends like what language you speak. I believe with English, you can work somewhere like theoretically in Germany, probably. Although again, like you need to know some basic German to live there. I'm not sure. Again, I haven't researched this question, but still, I mean, like in the Western Europe, I bet you can find some job if you speak English.
If you want to work in any country over here, you need to know their language. And if you are working in cosmopolitan cities like Warsaw, Wrocław, Berlin, I think Berlin, many people know English over there.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So, and talking about English, I would say that if you know English in our country, it would be a privilege. And I was very happy that Italian was using their language because they are very proud of their language. And that is what I like about Europeans. They literally love their language. But in our country, like if you are talking in English, it is privilege more than your mother tongue. So that is the best thing I learned from Europeans.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you since in Belarus we also have the language problem. So in Belarus, unfortunately, although everyone understands the Belarusian language, not everyone speaks it. And moreover, the majority of the people speak Russian there. So yeah, that's, I mean, how it is. So yeah, I can relate to that, I guess. Okay, and do you want to add something else?
Actually, I have visited 8 countries in Europe till now in my 1 year span. Last month, I visited 6 countries due to some program or due to work like that. And I haven't visited this part, Poland, Belarus, Romania. So, could you say something that would excite me to visit this place?
Oh, actually, yeah. I mean, you see, the problem is that Belarus is not in the European Union. So, and actually, I don't advise you to go there right now because we have, um, let's say, complicated political situation. Probably that's not the right time for you to travel there. However, you can travel to some countries like if you want to visit the Eastern European countries, you can visit, for example, Latvia, Lithuania, probably Finland. Again, I've been to some of these countries. You can also try. Have you been to some Scandinavian countries?
No.
Okay, probably you should visit them because these countries are beautiful but also expensive.
Yeah.
But still, again, like there is a lot of things to see there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's that's what I can say. Sorry for not answering your question, but
No,
still.
no problem. Actually, I want to see the Northern Lights.
Yes, me too. I mean, come on, of course, who wouldn't like seeing that?
Yeah, and as I said you that I'm vegetarian, and what are the options? Can we get vegetarian options in these countries or not?
Yes, and actually, after this podcast, I probably can share like a link with you because yeah, probably you know Junaid, right? Because I gave his
Yeah,
contact
yeah,
to you.
yeah, yeah.
So the guys actually organized and like they are about to open their restaurant. They are actually opening it tomorrow. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm not sure, but I guess they have some vegetarian options there. So yeah, I guess you can visit the restaurant or at least go to their shop because they also have their store and they sell some Asian food there.
And one thing more, do you like Indian foods or not?
Yes, I do. But another question would be like, am I capable of eating it? Oh, okay,
Oh,
in large amounts, that's another question because I'm not sure here. Once I tried some, I mean, not once actually. They invited me a couple of times, and I had this, as they call it, feast with them, like with some Bangla guys and an Indian guy. Um, so of course I ate some food, but afterwards I was just, my face was red.
lose next day lose motion, I think.
They were concerned about that. They were saying something like, "Oh, are you okay? Do you need some water? Do you want some milk? Something like that." And I was like, "No, I'm fine. I'm just crying and
Too
my
much,
nose is running, but that's okay. I'm good."
too much of spices.
Yep, true. That was very interesting to talk to you, and of course, like to learn about this country because you don't see that many people from Nepal. So, with that said, do you still want to add something else?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and I guess we can slowly move towards the end. And let's say goodbye to our listeners. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
This podcast was recorded at Radio Luz, LUZ on campus of Wrocław University of Science and Technology. You can find more episodes on our YouTube channel, as well as on various other platforms connected to Radio Luz. You can write to us to 51st.parallel.podcast@gmail.com, which is 51st.parallel.podcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening and see you next time.